Coach, how you doing, Coach? Coach, I'll die for you, Coach. I just wanted you to believe in me. I just wanted you to believe in me. Let's go to the Lions.
And they basically told me if I'm there, it's a possibility they're going to take me. So I had my phone right next to me, ringer on all the way up. Kept checking it, I was nervous, but when I got that call, it was just, I don't even know how to describe it, the feeling.
The Lions take one of my favorite players in this draft class, Isaac TeSlaa out of Arkansas. I'm giving this an A+. Almost 6'4", 214 pounds, ran a 4.43 in the combine.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. A Lions Talk Live Friday morning show edition. And you know what? We've got 2 more days until the Detroit Lions go ahead and get back on the football field. I think we're all, probably like the players and the coaches, chomping at the bit to see this team back out there. And let's be honest, they're heading out to a place that for most Lions fans, if you're probably over 30 years old, you can say winning in Washington for most of our lives has been something that's been incredibly difficult into the last maybe 10 or so years. Then we kind of got the monkey off our back a little bit. But going into Washington, it's going to be a big opportunity for this team to turn things around, get back in track. Hey, we all get it. The playoffs are within reach, but you got to grab victories whenever you can. And the Washington Commanders are going to come in a little bit down, a little bit trodden, a couple injuries, sort of like Detroit Lions. As you could tell from today's thumbnail, though, the main topic of the day is going to be more centered around, we're getting some information starting to leak out from different Detroit-based media, radio stations, etc. Brad Holmes and apparently Detroit Lions were close to a number of different trades, but then backed off. Why? We're going to analyze those details during the main topic of the day. This is going to be an opinion piece. There's no hard facts. Brad said, hey, we're not going to make this trade because of this, but it does seem like the evidence is pointing towards some of these inevitable conclusions. We'll get into that momentarily during the main topic of the day. You guys probably know we'll have 5 headlines now first. Before we get into any of that, though, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're about, 62 subs away from hitting 15,600. If you can assist with that, that would be awesome. Thank you very much. Also, if you have a half second of time, free of charge, doesn't even cost a dime, hit the thumbs up button, the like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 2, 3, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the continental United States where I reside, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. We can have a quick conversation, try to save you some time, hassle, money, the whole shebang bang. Make sure nobody overcharges you, et cetera, et cetera. All the processes get met and done on time. So go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, let's get the show rocking, rolling, moving forward and going. Kicking off with 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming at you right now. What the Lions should expect from Marcus Mariota and the Commanders offensive line. A to Z Sports Mike Payton with this one. Hey, the next day or so, we're going to get a ton of people across national media, across YouTube media, whatever media you're looking at, breaking down this game. You guys already know the Lions are more or less in a must-win game. You get the rest of their season schedule. We talked before the season even kicked off that at least it was, in my opinion, you got to get to 11, definitely 12 wins in order to secure a playoff spot in the NFC. In my opinion, there's just too many good teams that are going to be up there around that win total. Too many teams below you. It will be a season of have or have nots as the season progresses. You get it. You're also starting the back half of the schedule, the final half of the schedule. And the Lions, in my opinion, probably can only drop 2, maybe 3 more games. I'll let you guys Scooby-Doo where those losses could come from, where you can get victories. but you get it coming into this game against the Washington Commanders team that perhaps their best cornerback is out for the season. The pass defense for this team hasn't been great all year. The run defense hasn't been bad. Then you look at the offense, whether or not Terry McLaurin does play or not is a question mark. He is questionable at this point. He did miss last week. He goes, you know what, that probably helps Marcus Mariota out quite a bit. Marcus Mariota, though, this season has not been stellar. The Commanders are 0-4 when he starts, and he has more interceptions than he has touchdowns, 3 versus 4. I mean, you're splitting hairs with it. One thing he can do, though, is he is a fairly mobile quarterback. You guys probably already know that. The Lions are going to have to contain him, something they've done, for the most part, a pretty good job all season with as far as what to try to do to limit the Washington Commanders offense. Outside of, McLaurin, if he can't go, Deebo Samuel, my opinion, doesn't have to be your opinion, he's not the same guy he was, say, 3 seasons ago. He's lost a bit of a step. He's probably more of a Robin versus a Batman at this point in his life, although hopefully you guys all get that reference. He can still be dangerous, but I think the vast majority of the Washington Commanders' threat is going to come through Mariota's legs, and then their tight end, I forget his name off the top of my noggin, but he's not too bad. I think he more or less becomes their number 1 receiver. All right, moving on to the next one. Lions seeking Terry Arnold to correct, quote, unacceptable run defense. SI.com, story by John Macron. We all agree. We probably shared it with you guys a little bit this week. TA has been playing much better pass coverage. He's starting to ascend up the ranks a little bit for this team, and maybe you can just say the NFL. He's becoming a fairly decent second-year cornerback, but his run defense last week was not great, and I think most of us agree he had 1 or 2 plays, especially in the second half, where he came up at the line, made some stuff happen in run defense or run support, but the vast majority of the game, maybe it's because his damaged shoulder, he's trying to protect it, but the Lions coaching staff did have some conversations with him and said, hey, if you're going to be on the field, you've got to play both sides of the line. And he wasn't the only one that wasn't great in run defense last week. I think we all can appreciate that. But for him to continue to develop and ascend up the depth chart and become a more impactful cornerback for the Detroit Lions, he's got to play run defense, pass defense, and the Lions coaching staff, they have sat down and talked with him exponentially, called him out, in fact, in front of some of the teammates, and not in a malicious way, not like, trying to be rude or anything of that sort, but they did have conversations about the run defense and how it needs to be much better going forward the rest of the year. TA, to his credit, stood up, owned it like, whatever you want to say, like a man, and just said, hey, he understands his game has come along. He also understands how much further it can go. He's taking pride in himself and ownership of what he's done and didn't do during the game, and said he expects more of himself going forward. He wants to become a little bit of a leader of the team and somebody the coaches can and his teammates can constantly depend on. So give him credit for understanding. He is improving, but he's not there yet as far as being a complete cornerback, something he says he wants to be. All right, moving on to the 5 headlines now. Paid the man why Jack Campbell deserves his Lions extension now. This comes from Sideline Report, story by Patrick Renfro. We all get it. The Lions like to re-sign their own guys. They don't want to, bring in guys from free agency so much or trades as much. They like to say, hey, we know when we draft these guys, especially when you spend some time around them, what they can and can't be. Jack Campbell, whether you liked him when he was picked number 18 a couple seasons ago or, you didn't like him, here's what we could say. He is one of the better linebackers in the NFL. Last week, even though I didn't think the Lions were great as a totality on defense, I thought they were good. Jack Campbell, I think he was fairly near great. I don't know the Pro Football Focus grades, nor do I care. I reference them just as that a reference point. I disagree with them more often than not. Here's what I can say. Jack Campbell is one of the best linebackers in the NFL at shutting down the run and becoming one of the better ones at blitzing, something maybe he wasn't out of college. His pass defense, I wouldn't call it elite by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's fair. I mean, he's not hurting you in pass defense. He's maybe just not, exceptional in it. With all that being said, the question's always going to be with these draft picks. If you keep doing a good job developing these guys, who do you pay? When do you pay them? How much do you pay them? Jack Campbell, would you, I guess this is a question for the Duke Crew, would you sign him now, or would you target, say, Brian Branch, Laporta, Gibbs now, and get those done first? There's no wrong answer. Just let me know what you would do. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Lions get some good news here. Get Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker back at practice. This is yesterday. Pro Football Talk, Josh Apier. We did talk about it on the morning show yesterday that, hey, the Lions had at least some potential. And I guess to be fair, they still do come into Sunday's game against the Commanders, that you could be without your top 3 tackles. Because as you guys may or may not know, Dan Skipper did not practice 2 days ago because of a back situation. My anticipation is you're going to find a way, or Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell are going to find a way to be on that football field. I don't know about Dan Skipper because a back, if you can't bend as an offensive tackle, offensive guard, offensive lineman, you can't be on the field. You will get somebody destroyed out there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Skipper. With Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell, I think we're all going to feel a lot better about our opportunities to win the game and protect the running game, let alone their quarterback, Jared Goff. If both of them go, if Skipper can't go, that does raise a big question. Who is going to be your backup left tackle? We're going to have to wait and see on that one because, as you guys probably also know this week, they've been shuffling that offensive line a whole lot in Detroit. Speaking of which, talking about a segue from one story to the next, Lions shuffling offensive line faces a brutal challenge against Commanders. Sideline report, Candace Pereira's with this one. Who's going to play where? How much snaps are they going to get? Who's going to move out of position, new position, whatever position it is? I don't know. The Lions are keeping this fairly close or close to the chest until Sunday. As you guys may or may not know, when reporters go to practice, they're allowed to watch the first 15 minutes of practice. That's it. After that, there's the doors over there. You got to leave. The first 15 minutes, it's rarely anything big. It's mostly people stretching out, going through some stuff with positional coaches, real, as vanilla as you can be on the football field. They do that just to get practices warmed up. And again, it's not like it was in the 90s or 80s when I first started reporting where you could watch an entire practice. They've outlawed that. I'm not going to get into why. You guys probably understand why. All that being said, Dan Campbell did talk this week during a presser saying the Lions were going to start experimenting with moving guys around. Maybe this guy goes to the left guard. Maybe this guy goes to center. Maybe this guy goes to tackle. The Lions are trying to figure out what's going to be their best unit going forward with all the injuries, all the challenges they have faced. And the only thing I can say as a coach is anytime you're given an opportunity, it is an opportunity for you to win over a coach to say, yes, I need to put this person on the court, the field, whatever you want to say. Whether or not the Lions can overcome all these injuries, I believe they can, but you got to wait till we see it in the product on the field. They've got to play better than what they did last week because last week's performance by the offensive line, one could even say in the last month, has not been great. Doesn't mean you haven't had some great individual performances, but as a collective unit, the 5 people coming together have not performed incredibly well, which is why Goff's been beat up so much. There was a stat out there saying in the last month, he has the least amount of time to throw the football of any NFL quarterback. I think he's under like 1.7 seconds. It was like 1.67 or something like that, which is the fastest pressure rate currently being allowed on an NFL quarterback. I can only share my thoughts on it. You can have a completely different one. If you say snap and then 1 Mississippi, 1.5 Mississippi, and you're getting sacked, not too many quarterbacks are going to do well there. The running game last week, I think we all get it, whether it was blocking assignments, missed holes, whatever it was almost non-existent. And when you don't have a running threat, now you're just asking offensive linemen to go into pure pass block mode all the time, which also means the defense is teeing off, which is also why Goff isn't getting a lot of time to throw the ball. All right, with all that done, settled away, let's get on over to the main topic of the day. It'll be interesting to see what all of you guys have to say once we get into this information. It does sound like Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell nearly pulled the trigger on a couple different trades. Why they didn't, I'll leave that to your devices. Let's get into the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day. Do you like your guys better than somebody else's guys? Does somebody else's players look better to you than your guys? That's going to be the biggest question anytime you're a GM, a coach, or whatever you want to say. Where do you see value? Well, per numerous different reports that came out yesterday, it does sound like Miles Frazier, who has returned to the Detroit Lions, might be one of the reasons why the Lions coaching staff didn't pull the trigger on a trade for an offensive lineman. He's come out and talked to reporters. Miles Frazier, let me rephrase that, has talked to reporters, thinks he can be ready within a week, maybe 2. And that would be a massive thing. Remember, this guy was supposed to be somewhere between a second and a third round draft pick. And the Lions were able to get him significantly cheaper than that or later in the draft because there were some growing worries about one of his knees. You guys know he had surgery, cleaned it up. I don't know the full details on what was going on with the knee. All I know is he's good to go now, and that's probably a win for the Lions. If he pans out, it probably gives cooperation to a lot of different reports that the Lions decided not to trade for an offensive lineman. Because Miles Frazier, they believe when he's on the field, after they give him a few weeks, a month, or whatever to get up to speed, he's going to be that missing piece they need. He can play 3 different spots depending on who he asks. I know he can play guard. I know he can play tackle. There are some reports out there that suggest he can play center. If he can do all that and he's anything like you saw in the scouting combine or videos of him playing last year in college, and again, there's a difference from college to the pros, but if you get a guy who can play 3 different spots and can effectively block, maul, while then getting to the second level to block and maul, that could be a big reason why they decided not to overspend on acquiring an offensive lineman, whatever position you want to say. Frazier is that kind of guy. He's a dirtbag, whatever you want to call it. He's a big, powerful, explosive guy when healthy. And the Lions have ridden out half the season, plus the preseason, not having him out there. I understand why in the draft he fell because of the knee, but now that the Lions took the gamble on him, acquired him, and got him fixed up, if he really is the guy they are all anticipating, Hank Fraley's probably smiling, and us as fans are probably smiling. I don't know when he'll be on the field. I do know this, though, from multiple different reports, the Lions, if they were going to acquire an offensive lineman, were being asked to give up a 4th or 3rd rounder. You know, I know, and everybody else knows. We don't have any 3rd rounders for a little bit of time. So it means you probably would have had to give up multiple 4ths or a 2nd rounder to acquire somebody. And then the question becomes, is that person, maybe a half-year rental, a year-and-a-half rental, worth anything more than Miles Frazier? I can't answer that until we see him effectively in a game at the NFL level. But it does probably add a lot of thoughts that the Lions feel like this guy is going to be worth a 2nd or 3rd round pick, or multiple picks. We can at least say that. The other aspect of it is the defensive line. You guys all know it's like one of the oldest things any Lions fan talks about. We need a defensive end opposite Aiden Hutchinson. We need to get another pass rusher. Well, let's Scooby-Doo this. Muhammad has been a pleasant surprise for the team, and Josh Pascal, as you guys all know, is back. Marcus Davenport is soon to be back, although no definitive date has been given on him, and I already know the comment section is going to blow up about him. But with these 3 gentlemen coming back, to be fair, Muhammad hasn't been hurt or out for most of the season, but he hasn't been playing 100% because of that knee injury that he has. It's limited him ever since about week 3 of the season, right after the Ravens game. So with him now apparently being healthy, and you're getting Pascal back in the next 21 days, along with Davenport coming back, it sounds like the Lions didn't want to make a move. I would have liked to have acquired Phillips from the Miami Dolphins. I get a number of you guys would have. But again, you don't have a 3rd rounder to give up. So would you have been willing to give up a 2nd rounder? I'll leave that to your devices. My opinion, Phillips, he's hurt just as much as Davenport. Maybe not as much, but it's close. While there's no denying his talent, would he come in worthy of a 2nd round pick in exchange? And would he have made a bigger impact than those 3 gentlemen? I'll leave that to you guys to debate. And I think what we get out of it is here's the crux of the situation. Lions did have some lengthy conversations, but it sounds like they decided to go with the guys they already know. They've seen them in-house. They've seen them in practices or workouts or recovery. They know, as Dan Campbell would say, where the warts are on those players. They don't know what these other guys they were trying to acquire. One of the offensive linemen I do know they were trying to acquire, I forget the guy's name, but they did talk to Seattle about a backup offensive lineman, and I think a few other teams too. They talked to 2 AFC teams, although nondescript on who those players were. And my guess is at the end of the day, you look at, hey, Manu's going to be back in 2 to 3 weeks, somewhere in that range. So when he comes back, and no, I don't think he's ready to be a starter. But Frazier, he's an interesting one because he really is a complete unknown. We all see what he is on film in college. We all see his physical traits. We can all see his tenacity. There's no doubt about it. He gets his hands on you. He's putting your butt on the ground. He's that kind of guy. And that's why I think him and Ratledge, there was definitely some commonality between the two. So if you like Ratledge, you're probably going to like Frazier in time. Can he be the next Christian Mahogany? We'll have to wait and see. A late round pick that ends up being a starter for you. Mahogany, for those who don't know, he's got a broken ankle. If, based on at least my history coaching reporting, you're probably looking at about 7-ish weeks, maybe 8 weeks for recovery. So let's just say, I don't know, Christmas time, somewhere right around there, maybe he's back. And then the question is, how quickly can he get him back up to speed? We'll have to wait on seeing with him. But if you can get Manu back, Frazier back, Skipper's back, feeling right, and then Christian Mahogany, maybe the Lions weren't in a bad situation to where they wanted to overpay with a first round, second round pick or multiple picks for somebody. The pass rush, I get why everybody questions that. Hey, who doesn't want somebody who can get past the offensive line and to the quarterback in under 2 seconds? But did you think any of those guys were better than the guys we currently have? That's, I guess, what it ultimately all comes down to. All right, Duke, I'm going to get over to you guys and power through you guys as fast as I can. Just so you guys know, I'm running on fumes. I've only gotten a couple hours sleep. We've got a dog who's not doing well and has woke me up about 20 different times last night because of it. So I am literally going off of like just a couple hours sleep. So if I'm not at my best today, I do apologize. All right, let's get into the comments section. Michael D, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation point, one pride, woo, and back at you, JDC, morning all, Bo, good morning, Duke Crew, details, exclamation point, woo, and you know what, Bo, you're not wrong, probably give it another month or two, especially when the season's over, once we've won the Super Bowl, you'll hear Dan Campbell, you'll hear Brad Holmes, or this person, that person talk about other trades that we're not yet privy to that will become knowledgeable. Johnny L, good morning, folks. Shamir, greetings, Duke Crew family, what's good? How you doing today? James Allen, greetings, salutations, Dan and Duke Crew, always a pleasure to see you. To bed, yeah, I'm probably going to try to get some sleepy today for sure. James, what a show, what a podcast. Woo! Thank you for that. Thank you for the kind words, Johnny L. Well, what are we going to talk about today? Question mark. And now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Shamir, let Brad cook. It's his kitchen. It is, man. And, I know when it's draft day and you're watching everybody else throw draft picks around or money around and, man, they're getting this person, that person. We're all in the same boat. We all wanted to get that same feeling. This is going to be the savior. This is going to be the reason why we believe. But, at the same time, take a moment back, take a deep breath, and say, hey, maybe the Lions were right here. I don't know. The only way we're going to really know is if we get to the playoffs, win the Super Bowl, then we say, hey, the front office was right. Dave, glad to read that Sewell and Decker practice yesterday. Was worried about that? Yeah, I'm guessing most of us were. Because if both of them missed, or even one of them missed, and Skip couldn't go, you are not only to the backup, you are to the backup to the backup to the backup, because Manu's not in there either. James, yeah, let Brad cook. I like the way you're thinking. Johnny L, I ain't scared. Me neither, my friend. Glad to hear. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. About to take the kids to school, so just listen in. Go Lions with an exclamation point. Hey, have a good one. James, good morning. Johnny L, Cynthia, good morning, everyone. Exclamation point. I hope the presser will come up in headlines. Let's hope so. Hey, more. Good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time. Be a Lions fan. Woo! Hey, good to see you as always, Henry. Johnny L. Good morning, James. I've taken a step back. I'll wait until the end of the season before I really put any judgment on Brad and what he's done with the team. Morton, on the other hand, I get it, man. A lot of people aren't happy with Morton. The only thing I would say is Morton's got an ideal situation. As long as the offensive line is serviceable this week, that Commanders secondary, including their linebackers, is not great. You should be able to move the ball on them. The front four, I do not think is bad. If you can get some kind of running game, some sort of play action, I think the Lions are set up for success. But it doesn't matter what I think. You got to go out there and perform. Your special teams, your defense, your offense. It is 3 levels. And last week, we can all be upset about things. But at the end of the day, I think the fumble by David Montgomery definitely hurt us. The offensive line play was not great, and the special teams for Detroit was atrocious. I could say just the special teams alone did cost Detroit Lions that victory. They were that bad. Lions Talk Live fan, if Brad went and got a 1 or 2 guys, what does it he do when others come back? That's a good question. And, I didn't even mention Ahmed Hassanin returning when talking about the defensive line. You throw him into the mix along with Pascal, Davenport, etc., etc. It's just another person. JDC, darn tootin' on that. Johnny L with an exclamation point. James Lions Talk Live fan Brad would have to get rid of some players. He would. He would indeed. Henry Moore. Yep, my sentiment exactly. Let Brad Cook and MCDC stir the sauce. Woo! Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Who doesn't like some good sauce in the morning? Johnny L, good morning to you. Back at you. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Do we have any updates on Hassanin? Question mark. I didn't realize CM broke his ankle. Yeah, he broke his ankle. Hassanin, my guess is they probably resign him next week or after the Washington game. Maybe that's a better way to word it. But again, if you sign him, where are you going to put him? We'll wait and see. JDC, Dre's for rocks, and he rolls. The Trim Reaper. Good morning, Coach Dan and the all-star Duke crew. Starting lineup. Let's go Lions. Woo! With an exclamation point. Henry, good morning, Johnny. Johnny L, I see you. JDC, James, good morning. The Trim Reaper. Hey, it's always a good time to have a good morning. Lauren, good morning, Coach Dan and the world-famous Duke crew. Woo! On to the next victory this week. I like the way you're thinking. Jennifer, good morning, all. Same to you. Jess, Gritty Sanitation Duke crew. Got into a debate with some people on another show. Said we couldn't win with Goff because he can't run. Please name the quarterback that we can grab that we can win the Super Bowl with. Please name that quarterback. It's the age-old question. I get why some people don't like Goff. And everybody has their own opinions on him. Here's why, to your point, I don't know. I can't guarantee, 100% if you draft somebody else, if you sign somebody else, that you are going to reach the Super Bowl. And to your point, whenever somebody brings that up about this player, that coach, whatever, it's the same thing. We can always want somebody different, but there's no guarantee that next person up is going to do any better. Silver Server, good morning, Coach, and every single Lions fan. Let's enjoy the soap opera. Yes, indeed, my friend. JDC, woo, time. Johnny L with an exclamation point. Johnny L, yes, sir. France, just Lattimore, laughing out loud. That conversation won't just die until Jared Goff wins it all. We're correct with that. Yeah, he wins it all, then you can kill the debate, right? James Allen, I want to buy myself a Mountain Dew yesterday until I realized that I'm retired now. It happens, man. Mountain Dew, yeah. Go to the Circle K if you have one near you. You can get one for about 83 cents, any size. JDC, Magic 8 Ball says, don't be a TOD. Timeout, Timmy. Yeah, Timmy has left the building, it would appear. Henry Moore, good morning, Lions. Ladies and gents, the weather is right for some down-home Lions football. Woo! It is good. It's my kind of weather. I love this time of year. The wife, not so much. She likes it when it's like 190 million degrees out. Rock, let's see, good grit morning, Duke crew, back at you. Trim Reaper, looks like I chose the wrong week to stop sniffing glue. I know that line, and it's a great movie. James Allen, good morning. Henry Moore, Johnny L, where is Hookadoo? Maybe sleeping in today. That's something I wish I was doing right now, let me tell you. So, sir, I cannot believe the Lions fans complaining about Brad. I'd make you go back to the Morning Wag, Joey Harrington, Kevin Smith era, or perhaps the Patricia era. You got to be kidding me. We get spoiled. We have gotten spoiled compared to Lions standards of the prior 30 years for the most part. But you know what? When he starts sniffing success, you want more of it, and you want to go all the way to the promised land. So I don't begrudge anybody. Coach Rock, every year Brad almost made a trade. He did make a trade last year and the year before. But to your point, Coach, he's nearly made a number of trades. He's come out and admitted it, but he's not going to overpay for anybody. Until then, I feel like Frazier, Hassanin, and Pascal will make a difference. I think you're right with that. Call me wrong, but I feel it. I think you're right, 100%. And, it's hard to root against any of those guys because they seem like such great human beings. We all know the Pascal story. I mean, that really should be like a Netflix documentary. His story is so great. Hassanin, overcoming these injuries, the fact that, he didn't play when he was younger, and now he's here where he is, good for him. Good for him, young man. Remember, Lions defense is going to bring them to Levi Stadium. Oh, yeah, with an exclamation point. Anymore, glorious morning to you, James Allen, Jennifer, agreed Attila, 5 fingers ready. If we don't run the ball better than what we did versus the Vikings, we won't win many games. Last week must be improved upon. I like the way you're thinking. Indeed, I agree. Silver Sir, I just hope he is good, just busy, Hookadoo. That is, yes, indeed. Carrie, morning, everyone. James, good morning, Silver Server. Coach Rock, bottom line in the NFL is to win the Super Bowl or until the fans will be hollering some. Yeah, until you win the Super Bowl, everybody's not going to be satisfied. You want it all. And you want it now. Man, Bear, greetings, salutations, all. Good to see you, my friend. How you doing today? Silver, Attila the Hun. I like the way you are thinking, just to use the words from you know who. I wonder who. Jess, I don't pretend to know a lot about football, but I do trust the people running the Lions to make the right choices. I like it indeed. Attila Hun, giving up draft capital for a rental player who won't be the final puzzle piece is stupid and just bad business moves. The biggest need is offensive line, and they don't get traded at the deadline. Very, very rarely, to your point, Attila. And the ones that do get traded, I guess we could all debate, are they really going to make a big impact? Now, if you're going to give a couple first-round picks, a couple second-round picks, maybe you can get somebody who's going to come in and impact. But to your point, yes, most teams, because they want to protect their quarterback, whether they're a developmental quarterback or whatever, or the running backs as well. So if you got a good offensive line, you rarely give them up. Johnny, man, I can't keep up with the Duke crew this morning. Hey, have another Mountain Dew, my friend. The Trum River, I like the way you're thinking. Jessica, Silver, James Allen, hello, James, exclamation point. James, hope to see both Hookadoo and Queen Mary. Hopefully we do. Sosmo, wish we played today. Don't want to wait 2 more days. I'm with you on that, my friend. Coach Rock, Johnny Allen, how's everything going today? We'll find out. Trum River, hail to the Queen. Where is the Queen? Have we seen her? Henry Moore. I'm starting to have the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I think we'll win this one in an outstanding fashion. I like it. Let's make that happen. Johnny L., good so far. Rock. Tori Apple, when we get Frazier, then Manu, and in about 8 weeks, Christian Mahogany back, perhaps that's all the offensive line depth we really need with Yodi and Skip. Yeah, and sometimes we devalue guys because they weren't starters. Doesn't mean Yodi can't do a good job. He did a great job, I felt, last year. And to be honest, this past weekend, he did not do bad, in my opinion. JDC, Puff, woo, Coffee, and Lions Talk Live with an exclamation point. Queen Mary, good morning, Duke Crew. Let's take a moment to remember the young man who passed away yesterday. Remember mental health and serious prayers for his family and the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, 100%. I didn't want to go on air with it. As most of you guys know, I live in Kalamazoo. I watched him grow as a player at Western Michigan University, then play, and I just feel for him and his family. If you ever have a situation like that where you're just having a bad day, don't be afraid to talk to somebody. See if you can talk to somebody and have them help you through that moment in time. It's, without knowing the full details about his situation, I just feel heartbroken for him, his family, his girlfriend, all the first responders responding to it, his team, all involved. So if you have one of those moments, reach out to somebody, talk to somebody, try not to take it to an extreme. The Trim Reaper, I think married for a year, one night, and I never seen her again. Is that love? It can be. James, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. Thank you very much for that, James. Jedi Sith, I need some of that today. JDC, Coach Rock, just get healthy for the last 4 games and bring it on. I like it indeed. Silver, Johnny Moe came from the first presser already to the defensive side. All he said is that he wasn't going to change much, that what was there works before and was going to work now. We were astonished. The only thing I can say about his presser is I understand as a coach, you want to believe in what you're teaching, what you're doing. The other times are you have to evaluate, especially if it goes on for a couple games or a month, where teams have maybe Scooby-Dooed you and figured out. You got to come up with counter punches. Right now, no disrespect to John Morton, I feel like he doesn't have a counter punch. I hope he proves me wrong. Johnny L, great morning to the Queen Mary. Henry Moore, good morning, Mary. Tori, Jessica, go Lions, to all the above. JK, sounds like Johnny Moe will take us to the promised land. It sounds in here, okay? JDC, Jedi Sith Music, Erie, Smiling Erie. Steve Rogers, in my opinion, we need to make a move or a few. Can't hope guys are good at coming back from injuries. I get what you're thinking. Drake, Brad's either going to be right or dead wrong since we did nothing. That could be true. Robert, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew and Coach. Now it's only 5 a.m. in Arizona. Wake and bake. Woo! 100%, my friend. Hopefully you're having a good start to your day. JK, land of milk and honey. Shoot, we shall see. We shall see indeed. JDC, who was thanked without a fight? Queen Mary, good morning. James, Johnny, Henry, Rocky, Trim. Coach Rock, I see Warren contradicted what MCDC said about the loss. Not good in my book. I concur. Robert, honey in my coffee. Carrie, yes. Yes, you're either right or you're wrong. Done. I'll go with that. Johnny O, I love the 5 headlines now. Me too, man. Just, have a couple different topics of conversation. Wayne, 2 trades. Wow. Let's see if we could have. Coach Rock, good morning, Mary. Glad to see you. Hope all is good. I like the way you're thinking. Mary, good morning, Silver Surfer. James, good morning to you, Queen Mary. JK, laughing. Silver Surfer, and also Johnny Mo. I mean, the man is almost as old as me, and every 3 words he says is, you know what I'm saying. The other one is, you know what I mean. Give me some content, ! Relax. The only thing I'd say is people talk their own ways. Some people are not good in front of a mic. John Morton, in my opinion, does not do well talking in public with people. The Trim Reaper hit all the buttons! ! Thank you for that. Johnny L, no negativity allowed. Henry Moore, oops, almost forgot to hit that thumbs up button. Thank you for hitting it. Queen Mary, I'm blessed this morning. You're blessed, hopefully, every morning. Hopefully, everybody in the Duke crew is. Johnny L, done. Wayne, it's been a tough year. Such lofty expectations before disappointment was expected. Now each loss sends me to on a reel. It happens, man. The only thing I'd say is remember at one point, I want to say last year, the Philadelphia Eagles also had a less than ideal start. I want to say they had like 3 or 4 losses and people were writing them off as, not even going to make the playoffs. And then we all know they made the playoffs and won the Super Bowl. And then we think about, was it the first year Tom Brady was in Tampa Bay? They barely made the playoffs. I want to say they made it like the final week of the regular season, and then they won the Super Bowl. The 302 kid, if Jay Moore lays an egg with the offense creativity this Sunday, I believe he will be demoted quickly. I think it would not be good for him because, again, that's secondary for Washington, and their linebackers aren't strong. You should be able to carve them up. That also being said, unless the offensive line just falls down and does a no-show, he's probably going to be the primary focus of conversation afterwards if things don't go well. Anymore, yes, you are, Mary. Glorious, there you go. Gary, thank you, Henry. Silver, Mary Smith, good morning, Mary. James, the Detroit Lions are actually getting healthier by getting a lot of their players back. Kudos to both the trainers and the medical personnel the Lions have. I'll agree with all the above. Robert, I have the OC Blues in Detroit. Someone change the song, please. We'll see if they do. Mary, I did my part. I hit the button. Thank you for that, Mary. Dennis, good morning. Dan and crew, back at you. Dennis, Tom, I don't like watching the other waters because everything they say, because everything they say up front is clickbait, just trying to get you on everything. Your show is what you're going to talk about. Yeah, I just talk about a couple topics. Hopefully that resonates with everybody. Obviously it's not going to work for everybody, but I try. Coach Rock, Morton must like the Lee Michaels. Do you know what I mean? It happens. Lawrence Hill, good morning. Getting back at you. Henry Moore, anytime carry. Coach Rock, that was for you, Bo. Laughing out loud. Same old soup, just reheated. Present. Hey, and accounting for Bo Hookah. All right. JDC, Magic 8 Ball says, more losses equals more cliff jumpers. That will be accurate. James, hey, here I'm asking y'all to hit that like button, and then I forget to do it. I'm hitting it now. Nothing wrong with that, man. It happens to all of us. JK, that's Dan's job. Big D, morning crew, back at you. The 302 kid. Good morning, Coach and Duke crew. We just need J-Mo and Laporta involved every week. ! Go Lions. Hey, let's see who gets open and who gets the ball. Trim Reaper, here's our favorite coach and host of Lions Talk Live, Dan O'Damas. Woo! That will be perhaps tomorrow. I can't actually spoil it for you, but I would be betting on tomorrow. Henry Morris soup, good morning. Now I'm just thinking about potato soup, darn it, with some hot sauce. How about that? Reverend Ethan Reverend, is Dan a good host? We'll find out, and I'll let you devise that on your own. Kim, listening to the coordinators talk at the presser, I don't get a good feeling hearing what John Morton said. Maybe he just doesn't know how to do a presser. Now, watching him, I think he's just uncomfortable public speaking. My problem with that is if that rattles you, what's the chance of you're going to be highly aggressive in pressure situations? It could be that you can do it. I would just say it's probably not the norm for those two things to coexist in the same person. Robert, that game at the end of the 91 season was a gut punch painful. Yes, it was. The loss to the Washington. Yeah. Eric Kramer's worst game ever. And before golf, if you ask me, I would say Eric Kramer was the greatest Lions quarterback ever. Why? He won a playoff game. And that's just my opinion. And he was great against the Cowboys. Bo, do you know what I mean? I'm going to work on it. Robert, the Lions rule. Woo! Let's go. I like it. Like indeed. Silver Server. We're starting to realize what Ben Johnson meant to this team. Goff was really down when he left. We got used to those third down completions. Now we are remembering the way it used to be before him. I'll go with that to a certain extent, for sure. Dre, Johnny Moe is never good at presses, but as long as he gets the offense right, it won't matter as much. Yeah, at the end of the day, if you're successful, if we win, that's all anybody's going to care about. You can be terrible on the mic, but let's see what shakes. Tom, we need to get back on track this week, and the offense needs to break loose. If those don't break loose, there's a reason why Lions go. We'll find out, Tom. The only thing I can say is when comparing Ben Johnson, John Morton, there is one thing that is inescapable. Ben Johnson could call a lot of plays with an all-world, all-pro center and then a healthier offensive line. Zeitler being there, Frank the Tank, a healthier Decker. Those things do impact what you can and can't call as an OC. I'm giving Johnny Morton that. The other part of it, though, is if you know these are weaknesses, you've got to make some adjustments, get the ball out faster. Block in is probably the first thing I would say, where a lot of our guards block out towards the tackles, but you're leaving your running backs, like we saw last week with Gibbs, and your center in a whole lot of one-on-ones. And the fastest way to get to the quarterback is a straight line. Just my opinion, force them to go a little bit further out and around. Why? Well, instead of Goff getting hit in 1.7 seconds, maybe we can make it 2.1 seconds. And a half-second difference isn't huge in most things in life. It is when it comes to reading, reacting, and getting rid of the football, in my opinion. Johnny Hill, don't worry so dang much. I'll go with that. James, I remember the Lions haven't won much at the former RFK Stadium in the last 50-plus years. Hopefully we can win this Sunday. Indeed. Amy Spray, what do you got? Good morning to our all-illustrious leader, Dan, and the ultra fabulous Duke crew. Everyone have a fabulous day. Exclamation point, back at you. JK, I was told it was the Tabasco offense. It might be. Server, is Davis the solution? Question mark. I don't know, but if Morton continues like this, they are going to have to try something or the season will be over really fast. I'll go with that. Trim Reaper, the Lions defense is going to set the tone the rest of the way. Could be. They might need them to. Bo, beam me up, Scotty. Exclamation point. Hey, did you guys know he actually was a part of D-Day and Normandy Beach? I found that out a couple years ago. Leo, I said at the beginning of this year, if they would make this through the schedule, make it to the playoffs, we would have been battle-tested against everyone. You're not wrong with that. You're spot on with that. Cynthia, Andrade, that is true, but I would have liked to hear some accountability in this one. Word salad comes to mind. I'll go with that. Amy Spray, good morning, Amy. I can deal with fabulous. We need some here, says Silver Server. Pierce, the Trim River and DDI re-upped his lease at the ER. Maybe he did. JC, greetings, salutations, coach and crew. Exclamation point, back at you. Dre, I believe we are running the gauntlet, winning the rest of the season, but losing to the Bears in the end. All right, well, if we do that, I could probably live with it. Robert, if we can win 3 out of the next 4 games, we will be in good shape. I agree with that. JK, Jordan and Marcus Mariota, go get him. Shep, let's see if they can. Remember, I can see 2 to 3 more possible losses, but still, the Lions remain division champs. I like it indeed. Coach Rock, no one mentioned that Thor is starting to look his age. He is not looking as solid as he did, say, last year or the year before. Injuries, that's one thing I always say with football, especially at the NFL level. They rob you of athleticism super fast. Bill Parcells, if you guys remember him as a coach, I thought he had one of the greatest lines ever from a coach. Once the tread starts coming off the tire, it never comes back. And he's not wrong. Once you start getting injured, they can do a lot of things to fix you. You're never going to be who you were before. Dre Day, Cynthia, that's a fair point. Maybe we will see one day. Maybe indeed. Trim River, DDI, Big D. Bottom line is the trenches can play a stellar back half of the season. We are going to be tough to beat. Starts and ends in the mud. I agree. Football 101. Gary, watch the special teams this week. Man, they better play a whole lot better or we're all going to be chewing our nails. Coach Rock, I would sign Captain Jack right now. I'll go with that. James, great show. Thanks for that, Jameson. Big D, Captain Jack is freak. He's pretty dang good, ain't he? Trim Reaper, if Danport keeps getting his haircut too hard, he may never see the field again. Maybe not, man. He's never going to get paid again. How about that? Big D, Trim laughing. Silver, man, if our team is in the middle of a true crisis, Lions will lose 2 in a row and to the Washington Mariota. We won't know how deep are the issues. They don't leak much info. DC shaking it up. We'll have to wait and see, but basically judge things with your own eyes. Don't wait on somebody else to tell you what it is. Coach Rock, a lot of truth there, Big D. It all happens in the mud, and they get hardly any credit. They do indeed. Yeah, Hookadoo. Morning, Duke Crew, one pride. Dang, overslept 2 days in a row. What having I missed? Well, now you know, hopefully. Pierce, Hookadoo, is that DDI? Big D. Morning, Hookie. JDC, Magic 8 Ball says defense wins the big one. I like the way you're thinking. Coach Rock, Grit, morning, Hookadoo. The crew is one again. Yes, indeed. We're full again. Till then, if anything, extending your second round picks first, since you can use the 5th year option on your first rounders. Yeah, maybe that's what they do. Dre Day, Silver sounding like a downer. That's unlike you, good sir. JK, Rutledge should be back to spark. Robert, yes, special teams needs to get back to the excellent play they're used to seeing. Yeah, this year has been rough for them. They have not been great by any stretch of imagination. JK, Ratledge, I knew where you were going with that, even though I said the other. Coach Rock, Mary, you were right. Hook overslept. It happens. Trim Reaver, re-signed Captain Jack immediately before his talent is fully developed and his asking price is as well. We'll see if they can sooner versus later. Big D, trenches, you need great. The rest of the way, no ifs, ands, or buts. I like it, like indeed. Hookadoo, Pierce, they have a reservation room for the DDI at the ER. They might have a room just for him. Silver 302 kid, agreed on Morton. Big D, to be great, laughing out loud. Final countdown, I would say extend Jack right around what you gave Barnes. That could be. Silver, Hookadoo, there you are, exclamation point. Reality Mike, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Woo! With an exclamation point. Hey, hopefully everything is well in Florida. We're getting snow this weekend. How about you? Silver. People got worried. People get worried. Vanilla Ice offense has to stop. We'll see if it can, JK. Anymore. The only thing I was disappointed about is that we passed on Darnold when he was a free agent. I get it, man. I get it. Jeremy Reaver, I think our offense is going to have to carry our defense is going to have to carry our offense until we draft some more offensive linemen this draft or free agent. Yeah, it could be. My guess is probably not, round 1 and 2 next year will be devoted to the offensive line. Could be completely wrong. Obviously, you have to have the right values when you pick, but you have to be fair to those rookies. They're going to take time to develop too. Big D, Jack is better than Barnes and deserves his payday. Probably will get one. Final countdown. Special teams needs to be much better than it has been the past 3 games. Yeah, this season I've not been impressed with it as a totality. And again, just my opinion, if they don't allow the blocked field goal, if they don't allow the 2 massive kick returns, he probably, even though he played terrible, he probably would have won against Minnesota. Robert, I need some jelly on the offensive line, please. There you go. Johnny L. Peace out. I'm just going to listen for the rest of the day. Hey, have an easy day. Just kicking back, relaxing. Ethan, is Dan nice? We'll find out. Lion Dog, signing out. Have a great day, Dan and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. All right. Well, see you next time, my friend. Rock. Later, Johnny L. Remember, have a great day, Johnny L. Hookadoo. I'm going to have to send my freaking alarm. Good morning, members of the Grit. Lions will roar. I like it, like indeed. Roar into the end zone. Eddie's Fish. Lions need to put the best players on the offensive line that can help us win. Eddie, to your point, I think that's what they've been trying to do this week. Try to figure out if they can move some pieces around. To be fair, if they do it on Sunday, it's probably not going to look great Sunday because you really have only had 2.5 practices to make it happen. Those guys got to have time in games to gel and develop. But if you feel like you got the right pieces, go ahead and do it and then allow it to move forward from there. Trim Reaper, there's Hookadoo, Silver. Dre, unfortunately, Dre, that's a whole lot like me and a fan who witnessed just about everything. Not saying it's true crisis, but I have to watch this game and evaluate the situation. I'll go with that. Hookadoo, I'm good, just overslept. It happens. Coach Rock, sometimes Hookadoo, I wish I could get rid of my internal clock and do some sleeping. Yeah, I'd like to get back to being able to sleep. Last week or two, man, I just can't sleep. Robert, need Frazier to play the Philly game? He might just do that. If nothing else, can he be like the 6th offensive lineman if you go with one of those jumbo steps? Because he does have some athleticism. Jake Gate, meanwhile, turkey choke. All right. Eddie's Fish, if the Lions did not make a trade for an offensive lineman, the deal may not have sounded good. Henry Moore, good morning. Hookadoo. That's it, Rock. Usually awake around 5. JDC, Magic 8 Ball says, naps are my friend. I probably need to try to get one today. Coach Rock, We're all thinking the time change got you, Hookadoo. It probably got a lot of us. Silver Server, Coach Rock, I hear that. We wake up no matter what, sometimes too early, never too late. No, the dogs and cats, let me tell you, they're awake at the appropriate time for them to want to get fed, and it's driving me a little nuts in recent weeks. Christian, what do you got? Gibbs, Campbell, Branch, Laporta, in that order. I'll stick to it. Hookadoo, thanks for caring about me, guys. You all rock. Exclamation point. Yeah, we're all worried about you for sure. Bo, the wizard is never late. Ooh, that's good, wise line to use. Robert, fix the offensive line, and Hank for president. Hank, I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a job. DM5, Coach Fraley spoke highly of Miles in an interview a few weeks ago. I think he'll be a good lineman for us in the long run. Yeah, now you just got to kind of get him slowly pushed up to speed. You know, maybe he's right. Maybe he can do it in a week or two. That's just pretty fast expectations. Henry Moore, yes, that internal clock of mine goes off at 5 also. Yeah, I got up at I think where I just gave up trying to sleep around 4:30 today. Man, I'm feeling it. Gravy, as long as the team is above 500, there is no need to panic. Let the boys play. Longtime fans have seen what bad is, and this is nothing like the past. I agree with that fully. JK, not wasting a pick for less than 2-year rental. There you go, Coach Rock. That's true, Silver Server. And even after retirement, I still get up at 4:30 just like clockwork. It happens, man. Changing that internal clock's tough, ain't it? Eddie's Fish, I think the Lions did not make a trade because it may not have sounded good. Yeah, that's true. Trim Reaper, don't fear the Reaper. There you go. Hookadoo. Halloween wore this wizard out, Bo. All right. Pat, I'm retired. It's too up early at 4:30 every morning. Yes, indeed. Coach Rock, we all did our third round trades in the draft. So with those guys we moved up to pick need to start panning out. I think they will in time for sure. Trim Reaper, and don't trust this smiling penguin. There you go. Silver Server, at the beginning I said 10-7, but in the playoffs, let's see, 11-6 would make me feel a little better. Me too. But at the end of the day, as long as the road takes us to the trophy, hey, that's all we're after, right? Robert, must admit, Brad Holmes and MCDC are sticking to their guns, building this team the right way. I concur. Hookadoo, I'll have to watch the first 10 minutes after Lions Talk Live. Hey, way to catch on up. Eddie's Fish, if a player is hurt all the time, I would not trade for him. It's not worth the trade. No, chances are he's going to be hurt for you too. Bus driver Brent, hey, talk about somebody I haven't seen. Hot site. Good morning, Coach and Duke crew. Help the channel, hit that thumbs up button. Woo! And thank you for that, my friend. Jerome, sounds like to me organization is just risk takers. Some are indeed. JK, Mahogany, and Agony, probably. Coach Rock, to draft a player who is injured seems a bit on the bite us on the backside. They do that sometimes. I get it. You know, where value is, I guess, at least in their mind. Trim Reaper, the horror. Juan, laughing out loud, exclamation point, yeah, right. He never would. I guess I'm not sure what would never happen. Robert, puppy love. Hey, gotta have puppy love. Rock, take care of your dog, Coach. Yeah, it's just not allowing me to get much sleep. Silver Sir, okay, you are needed here. Too many of us are old, grumpy Lions fans. Hey, it happens, man. Hookadoo, take care of your dog. They are family. Yes, they are. They are very much so. Ricky, we'll be fine. I think it's all coaching from here. Exclamation points. I concur. Cynthia, you're doing great as usual. I hope your dog gets better. I hope he does too, man. And thank you for that. Matt, I see you were up at 1:30 yesterday. You posted, I was up. Hey, sometimes you got to do that, right? Trim Reaper, show us your puppies. Someday I'll put a picture of the kiddos up here. Mary, get your rest, Coach. Dan Lions Talk Live needs you because you're always make us our day. Hey, glad to help out. You guys make my day too. Anymore, Silver, you couldn't be more correct. Dolo Dynamite, a new offensive line goes Sewell, Ratledge, Jake Slaughter, Mahogany, Frazier. Might be the future indeed. JK, let us see those corn dogs! Exclamation point. Laughing out loud. Maybe I'll take a picture and slap it up on one of the shows. Silver Server, JK, Mahogany. Agony, how about that? Eddie's Fish, I would like to say hi to my Detroit Lions fans, friends in Michigan. Hey, they're all here. Trim Reaper's laughing. Ryan, Sheila wants a Super Bowl. Brad and Dan are trying to get the Super Bowl. Trust the process. Lions 24, Commanders 17. Let's hope it's not even that close, Ryan. Coach Rock, I checked out Morton's coaching career and not feeling too good about it. Hoping someone can persuade me elsewise. Hopefully his performance on the field with the team's performance will do that. Pastor Ben, good morning, Coach Dan. Sorry to hear about your dog. Prayers for your pets. Go Lions. Thank you very much. Dolo Dynamite, man who's trashy. I'm hoping he can be less trashy. Let's see, JK Silver. James, Miles Frazier is a true unknown to us. Hopefully Dan will put him in the lineup. Let's see what shakes out. anymore. Hey, Eddie's Fish, JK is laughing. Silver Server, Coach, got all that still wind, didn't sleep, didn't want to let us down. No, I power through. That's what I do. Phil, good morning. Good morning, Phil. Looks like you got a new project guitar. Silver Server, still Steel Wheel wants to write. I wanted to write. It happens. I tried to be positive and I never give up on our Lions. I've been a fan for decades, even though the years of bejesus, Lions will always roar for me. Silver Server, I'll go with that. Silver Server confirms with a thumbs up. JDC, Silver Server, I pictured a copper still. All right. Coach Rock, we got Frazier and Hosteen, 2 unproven NFLers, so hoping they are as good as people are talking about. Let's hope so indeed, although I do think it's going to take time to develop them. Trim Reaver, good morning. James, sorry I missed you. It happens. DM5, we're banged up a bit, and the offensive line has struggled. With that said, we should be able to dominate the Commanders. Let's see what happens. I'll go with that. Dolo, what do you got? Since we have Dan Campbell or coaches blame their players, at least publicly, like Morton just did, get him off our team. He takes no accountability. To your point, if you're going to start blaming the players, especially in front of people, in front of the media, that's not a good thing. It's not the Dan Campbell way. It's not the Lions way. So, yes, they need to address that. Rock, alls have is hope and grit. That's all we got, right? JK, no problem. We are good to go. Let's hope so. Egon, tardy but present. Hey, good to see you, my friend. Trim Reaper, Timmy, exclamation point. Kim, do you want a running quarterback that is not strategic or a strategic quarterback that manages for the best plays? We'll see what shakes. Egon, what a great audience. Indeed, with exclamation point. Hookadoo. That from the movie Airplane also trimmed, correct? Bo, Egon, duh, with the exclamation point. Coach Rock, Goff just needs to go left and or right and throw it on the run. A lot of his throws on the run are short, it seems. Yeah, it's not his strength. He's not a great on-the-run quarterback. Vernal, good morning, Coach Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Coach, I wonder if Sheila is all in on Morton. Coach, where are you on Morton? I've offered my thoughts. Right now, I'm just not seeing it. I hope he proves me wrong. You know, I get we all have to make adjustments at coaches. I get the offensive line isn't what Ben Johnson had to work with. All that being said, at the end of the day, especially at the professional level, the collegiate level, you win or lose. That's all people care about. They don't want to hear about what didn't go your way. It's whether or not you got it done. JK, trading for Z, I never understood trading for Donovan Peoples-Jones. The world may never know. Yeah, I wasn't sure why they did. They clearly had an idea. Meg, also, after the disgusting Minnesota game, I don't trust the Lions anymore. Let's hope we can reevaluate that after this game, upcoming game. Michael, quarterback is mobile. Doesn't mean he's a good pocket quarterback and will have the continuity with the offense. I'll go with that. And more. When you get on the top, there's only one way to go. I just enjoy the process of getting there. I concur. Trim Reaver, I wonder if they will make a new airplane movie starring Liam Neeson. Could be. Coach Rock, hope we never go back to the Russ Thomas days. No, let's hope not. Those were not great. Egon, but honestly, I can't articulate how much the performative yelling and that I caught on made my day. It happens. Miss Emily, Miles Frazier is the man. Exclamation point. But let's get a prayer chain going for his knees. By the way, he had something Rutledge and other draft picks don't. Flexibility in his hips and back. He really can become our center. Yeah, he can do a lot of things, and that's the real positive thing about him. But I would just say take your time getting him on the field. Don't rush him. Mo, Egon, Primal Scream. Don Bird, Jeff Risen had a very good video up right now from this morning. Very informative on what Brad Holmes didn't make a trade on Detroit Lions podcast. We'll have to check it out. Thank you for that, Donnie. Hookadoo, I seen the Queen Mary so sad. All right, I seen that Queen so sad indeed. JDC, I ain't scared to go Lions. JK, Sedge, that Don, seen that Don. Egon, Bobo, not having to explain. It is why it is so funny. Dolo, Morton needs to go. He might just. The Trim Reaper, Lions Talk Live is the most beautiful queens. Woo! Exclamation point. That might be accurate. Hookadoo, I had some scored. He had scored his first TD in Dallas last game. Yeah, on Monday night. So, yeah, thoughts and prayers for him and his family. Rock, wife asked for a ride to work on this gloomy morning. So, happy wife, happy life. We'll pick up later. Woo! We'll see you then. Dolo, Miss Emily, I'd rather have Frazier at tackle for Decker. That could be the plan. Pat, I think Dan will call plays if he thinks it gets bad. Correct with that. All right, guys, we got about 2 minutes left. I'm going to power through it and get some people on who haven't been on as much. JK, special teams are doing great, man. We'll find out. Johnny Gaz, good morning. Dan and crew, exclamation point. I wonder how many almost trades there have been. We'll find out in time for sure. Let's see, Lauren, morning, Johnny Gaz, Motor City Paulie. Does anyone else think that Johnny Mo threw you guys under the bus? That you didn't accept any responsibility for the loss? There are some thoughts going that way, no doubt about it. Bo, never take a back seat, Trimmy. Surely you must know this, question mark, Trim Reaver. What up, though, Lauren? Johnny Gaz, good morning, Lauren and Timmy. Tom, what do you got? Several real good options in USFL, practice squads, etc. Yes, we've gotten some that way. JD, what up, though? The Lions season is like flying a plane through a thunderstorm! Exclamation point. Good analogy. But we will land the plane after we win the Super Bowl. I like it, like indeed. Let's make that happen. Gordon, hey, I almost dated Liz Taylor. True story. Hey, good for you. Let's see, Carrie. Who called me Shirley? Hopefully nobody. Stephen, great salutations, Duke Crew, and the Dude-tastic day. Lions win, Lions win, Lions win with an exclamation point. Leo Jimmy, let Shaw take over. Maybe he'll run Mondi and Gibbs on the field. Maybe. John W. Max protect with and let those receivers feed. Let's see if they do that. Thomas, Morton to me at the presser acts like a deflated balloon. Yeah, he probably knows the mic is, or excuse me, the axe is fallen. Pierce, Mike, yes indeed. Carrie, stop that Shirley, exclamation point. DM5, the goal is to get to the playoffs. The 0-7 Giants went to the playoffs 10-6 and beat the number 1 seed Dallas, number 2 seed Green Bay, undefeated Patriots. And as long as they're playing their best ball, yeah, as long as you're playing your best at that time, look out. Dolo, Glasgow is not good. Bo, Kerry, did you pick the wrong week to stop Snemi Glue? We'll find out. Trim Reaver, surely it's time to stop. We'll find out. A couple more here and then get out of here. Fletch lives. Man, talk about somebody I haven't seen in a hot second. Fletch is in the big house. Go Lions and get back on track. I like the way you're thinking. And Zoots, what do you got? Lions Super Bowl before got a 6. There, I'll go with that. Nino B, Johnny M should be down on the field to properly respond to Goff, correspond with Goff about the plays. Let's see if they do that in time. But I get your point with that. Astro, Morton inherited an immensely talented offense and trying his dead level best to make it mediocre. You might be accurate with that statement. Gary, Bo, I'm polished and Ukrainian. I picked my nose, so I had no choice but to smell the glue. All right, well, enjoy the glue. JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. See you next time. Bo, happy trails, Duke Crew. All done and dusted for another day. See you tomorrow. Have a great day. Jason, Lions fans are forgetting new guys must fit into the culture and have the grit to get onto our den. Maybe that's why Brad doesn't make the trade about all the stats. Yes, agreed with that. Well said, well said. Happy trails, everyone, says James, Motown Mitch. Now I have watched this show for years now and not ever seen this queen? Question mark. All right. Gary, happy trails. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Go Lions. Woo! We'll see you next time. Hookadoo, take care of your dog. I will do just that. Miss Emily, Dola Dynamite, I think Miles will be the Johnny Cash of our line. Everywhere, man. Might be accurate. Lauren, morning all. Y'all been listening, busy at work. Hey, it's been a busy day at work for sure. JK, good boy. Valda, every sip you have, save a puppy. Yes, I'll try to save the puppies. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, try to get some stuff done before work and all that kind of stuff. If there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. If you would be so kind before departing, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being. And we'll see you guys all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all.
Excuse me, sir. Would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus? Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism? How Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology? Or nuclear power?